Welcome back. Today we're doing electric bed lift, and since it's our last days of van build and the budget is very tight, we decided to do it ourselves. We ordered 4 of these linear actuators from, of course, AliExpress. This is the 70 centimeter version and it's the longest. Why? I will explain later. And we will fit them on the basic Ikea bed. It's just the most popular version of and one of the cheapest ones, but it does its job and it's very light, which we needed. The only bad thing about this bed is we'll have to cut it 10 centimeters because we just left 1 meter and 90 centimeters. Everything sounds nice on the paper, but we will have a lot of struggles, I believe, because these actuators don't have the best attachments and they are not really made for it. These ones will have to fit on a bed ends, and these ones will have to go on a downside to fasten to our furniture, and we can bring it over here. We chose the longest ones because it fits our expectations from bed, which we don't like to make it. So instead of lowering the table and playing Tetris every morning, we just wanted a huge table, 1 piece of cushion. The bed will stand somewhere right here because it's 70 centimeters up. It can just go down and we will sleep over here just above the table. And when we finish, the bed will go up and we will have something like that. I believe it's enough space to sit straight. I'm not sure how much the final install cost, but I believe it's around 3 times cheaper than to buy at the camper service. Looks pretty straightforward, but I will have to find a space where to fasten them, as I told you before. Every corner with the actuator. First step, which I will do, is to prepare the bed to be the exact length as we need. For that we will start cutting here and here, and then we will check if the bed is still strong as it's supposed to be, because I believe this supports 2 of those angles, and I will have to put some kind of wood to maintain that strength. Okay, first step done. Looks really nice. Now, the second step, we will shorten it by 10 centimeters because we don't have 2 meters in length. One little side quest before shortening it. This middle part will be our headspace, so instead of going down, I will just put it up, so we save, let's say, 9 centimeters if we are going to sit, and our head will be over here. And now to the actual fun part, where I will have to cut somewhere over here and make it shorter. Those 3 parts has to be cut in. There are some funny Ikea securing bolts, which I'm not sure how to recreate, but I will try. They seem to be doable with the home conditions, with a few drills and using the same screws. Let's get into it. Okay, that was stressful, mostly because I'm not 100% sure about my calculations and how I will do these things and these ones and those fixation ones. Plenty of stuff going on, but so far so good. Now I will try recreate the holes which were made before. And I've done it. Okay, actually it looks like it can fit. Now we will see if it will. And the mattress. We just chopped 8 centimeters. One quick test. Okay. The length feels nice, and I didn't explain before what I did. So basically I just mimicked the same construction. I just cut this segment, but drilled the same holes, the shorter one and the bigger one, and they met in the middle with that metal piece which was holding all the strength. And since I modified it and I think I didn't make it as strong as it was before, I decided to buy 8 of these to each corner. I think it will make it a little bit stronger. Maybe it's not necessary, but it's better to be safe. And the frame is done. This is the bed, how it's supposed to look while it's down. So now I will adjust the placement with the gravity tool, and I will know the exact placement of the hole. And sometimes our car looks pretty funny with those planks over there, but they are just to keep the car straight, so I can do the measurements like this one. And this is our top of the bed going to mount over here, and the screw. So I'm going to attach this one to the bed frame right now. Some places are definitely not that pretty and they're tough, and there's a huge risk of cracking the worktop. But to save a few centimeters, and since I decided that I want our bed to hold with our tabletop as well, not just on actuators, so I'm trying to get one straight line with the weight balance on a actuator and worktop, so it will be pretty hard to execute, but I will try. Good morning. The third day of a bed build, preparing the place in a back seat area. It will be somewhere over here, and this will be a little bit tricky one, but I will manage it. So I have those lids over here, and I know the exact places because I showed before how I measured them. I'm doing this very tight because it will hold, that it will not wobble to the sides on paper. Then I will start preparing the wiring. It's almost done because we knew that those places for wires and for actuators we're gonna need in the end. And we checked the electricity and the switch works fine. So just a little bit of wire working, and for now I'm going to work with these ones. While I'm working with the bed, Vicky's on her quest herself. She's responsible for the cork walls and the paintings. And since we don't have one straight wall, it gets also very tricky with the measurements. Also, I didn't film it, but I made those little doors, which are the compartment for our gas tank. They are sealed with the rubber. Okay, the first fitting incoming. Looks okay. It just has to be. I think everything's going according to the plan. And you may ask why I decided it will hold on a table and also on an actuator. So now I attached the screws which is going through the actuator, and now it's hanging over here. So I measured this place, and I know that on this exact spot it will stand. So this is a good news. The bad news almost feels like it will not fit over here. Hard to show, but it will be pretty tight. In the video it's pretty hard to keep track which day is it, but we are working 4th day on our bed lift. Well, mainly I do it. Vika has other tasks, and today I will continue with the wooden brackets which are going to hold the whole frame. I already prepared the dried wood. I wanted those to be a little thicker, but they are not as heavy as they look. They are very dry. Yeah, I will prepare 4 of those. I haven't even tested the whole actuators, I just unpacked one. I hope they will work. So I have those 4 brackets ready. They are exactly the same because I'm doing the assumption that our floor is even. And now I'm preparing those 2 centimeter holes, which are going to be these ones. They are 2 centimeters deep. So I'm doing 4 of those. Also, you may have a question why I cutted these so thick. It's probably overkill as well, but I want our build to last long and to be extra sure. Or if it's my PTSD talking, I think there must be a tool to do this, but I don't have it. I will even put some kind of wooden brackets on the sides extra, and it will hold on a tabletop over here, so it's supposed to be pretty steady. We moved our car under the roof since it cannot fit the garage perfectly, and this one is just 2 meters and our car is 2.4 or something like that. Had to get creative. So first I know the alignment on one angle. I'm marking the place of the middle of the M6. Doing the same in the second wall. And then I know that from the standing point it's exact measurement. So I'm marking the height of it. So I have this little plus, and I know that the hole's supposed to be here and over here. It's not perfect, but since I have this huge wooden brick, I have some secure space for extra strength. And now everything I need to do is just to put it inside. And it goes right through. Actually, before putting everything in our camper van, I just knew from the experience that I have to test everything. And since it was sitting in a garage for a year or more, it's better to test it, and I want to turn on all 4 of those. So the test runs are necessary. Sometimes it just sits in the garage because in my case I was afraid to even touch the bed theme. So much work was going around it and so many flaws can occur, but we won't have a good install without testing and trying, since we are learning and this is our first build. Okay, so to here, and then I will get a 12 volt from a car. Also talking about expenses, sometimes you can get really creative, and these old bricks in the garage were pretty dry and was just kind of trash in our garage, but since I did an operation on it, it turned out pretty decent, because the inside of those, while I cut all of those sides, were looking really nice and dry. Even this looked very cracked and unusable. Ooh. Okay. I already see that we have one winner, which is going in faster. Not sure if it's a good sign. Okay, good news, they are working. Bad news, one is working a little better. We are going to sleep on the downwards position, so we're gonna wait till all of them are down. So hopefully it will not damage anything. But the difference is pretty big, to be honest. It's around 2 centimeters. I'm thinking what kind of problems we can face if they are going a little bit in a different pace. For the wooden bed frame, it has a little room to expand on the sides, and it will calibrate when it will go fully down. Let's try to do on a first position Vika down. On the other hand, it may be that after few stretches they will calibrate a little bit more, and maybe first few rounds are not the same. But as I told you before, for us the most important position is down, because we will sleep on that position, and when it will go upwards there will be our bed sheets, etc., everything soft, pillows, and those 2 centimeters will not affect in any way, hopefully. I can't believe it's almost summer and it's still around 0. Nevertheless, today I have to do some soldering because I just bought this switch. This is 6-pin switch, rocker switch, I think that's how it's called. Well, the only thing that matters is this and this, ground and positive one, and to the linear actuator, this and this, and this and this. I will try to set up a time lapse, what I will do, nothing too crazy, and this is one of my first times using the soldering machine. What I did is I prepared this with 1 drop of the metal, plus and minus for my battery income, which will go in the middle over here, and I have 2 of these. One will go to one corner, another will go to another corner, and then it will go to the actuator, and I have 2 identical ones. Now I will try to solder them. Okay guys, so this octopus is the best what I can do for today. These 2 from the middle one, as I told, they are going to the battery, and these 2 which are connecting this side with that side, these are going to the actuator. So in theory we need to change the poles for upwards and downwards position, so this will go plus minus, this is nothing, and this will go minus plus. Yep, let's go and check it in the test. And if that was complicated, this is how it looks connected. And it will be even more complicated later on. Final steps, the preparations for the bed lift. And this is the holder, and this is the side bracket which I told about. I decided not to use it like that, because I thought that I will use this and like that, but instead I just did a longer wooden brick and I will attach it like that to the ground. It will be even stronger. pretty soft wood. After all this time thinking and managing the strategies how I will install it, it will be just like that. Let me show you something we had to manage. One leg had to be over here. Had to find a space in between all of electric stuff, so I used the angle grinder to make this thing like a baby toy, and it will go over here. It will be touching the ground, so it will be strong, but actually to get here and to organize everything, it was quite a challenge. But probably you will have something like this, so you just have to make one hole for the holder. It's not necessary, but I want to be extra protected from barking. It will be just softer. We got those glues, which after becomes like a rubber. Screw the nuts. It looks pretty dirty, and we are planning to paint everything white after we finish with all the stuff, because as you can see, you will mess up everything again and again. The crazy part, using the excessive amount of glue. Classic. Funny what kind of pieces we create.
It's a bird nest.
Vicky. We're using every piece of leftovers, at least trying. Even taking the stuff from the broken bottle, but cannot even move it. That's the whole point. Going to bring the bed inside. 4-5 days of working, and you can see the result. Just 4 of those, and the bed, which was a little modified and strengthened. Up, up, up. The last brooming. Oof, okay. The excessive amount of glue, everything feels so far so good. You cannot even imagine how much thought process, research, nervousness, and I don't know, sleepless nights came until this point. Good morning, everyone. The next day, yesterday it started to rain, and today is a beautiful sunny day. It actually feels like summer. On the one hand, we are very happy. On the other hand, it's almost the day we have to leave and the van build has to be finished. Vicky is preparing the wooden rails. Oh my god, pretty nervous because this is the final test of the bed lift. We're going to put those rails, the wooden thingies, and then put the mattress in, and then to test the final height of the bed. Actually, we don't even know if it's enough headspace. Well, on the paper it is. We can still manage the depth of the sitting area and the foam of it, how much foam we can add, 10 or 15 centimeters, probably 10. That's how it looks from the window, but they will be covered mostly. Also, we painted the bar area. If you want to see how we made it with the cork and the white paint, you can check the other videos about the walls. Nothing too crazy or hard to do it. It's very light and pretty cheap. Wow. So a few millimeters off on the sides, so I actually wanted to leave a few millimeters just to have this soft coverage where the bed weight is going to sit. For the holding the mattress and the amortization, we chose the basic Ikea wooden brackets because the wood seemed to keep the same theme of our van, and the wood is cozy in general. For the mattress, nothing special, just one we had at home. It's 1.40 meters by 2 meters originally, but we cut it 8 centimeters, so it's 192. Nice. If it's enough, I am not sure. Well, we will share the experiences after we sleep a few nights here. On a highest point it's 68 and on the lowest it's 64, since it's a little bit of a curvature. Ooh, Vicky! Good news that we can get on our roof rack finally after 1.5 years. We've never been there, but I think we will use it more often now, for sure. Sleeping position looks like this. It feels like it's enough. One thing to consider how we are going to get in the bed: some kind of stairs or little ladder. I haven't thought about it yet. I was too occupied about the electronics and alignment. What's next? We're going to check the measurements of the sitting area underneath the bed while it's fully extended, and I will do the time lapse how long it will take to actually pull it upwards. That's how long does it take. It's a little bit squeezed on the corners. Remember I told you about the unequal speed of the actuators. Is it a problem, those few centimeters? Well, we can check it. They are squeezing on the corners just to be extra strong while driving. Those actuators are very stiff at the moment because they are holding the ceiling, or ceiling holding them. Those corners are a bit squashed, but not that much as it looks like.
This is how much space we have for our living area. Of course, we're gonna have a huge table here, and to sit straight we have 1 meter and 6 centimeters. So it's enough for us both, because we need about 19 to sit straight. So I think we can sit perfectly, and it's kind of easy to get from the kitchen to the living area. We just need to bend a little bit, not much.
Why did it take a long time to shorten the bed and to get to the exact alignment with the furniture? is because we wanted to save every centimeter. Like over here, it's going to this corner, and here, that corner, it's just look how much space we have left. It's 1 centimeter here, also 1 centimeter here, and everything is because we wanted every possible centimeter of the space to use for our living. This is the crazy button which I practiced my soldering. This is the sound from a close-up. It's actually not that big. And finally, talking about the cost of it. It was 70 euros per actuator, 100 for bed, and around 20 euros for the screws, brackets, and some wires. So it makes around 450 euros and 1 week of work. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.